So the plan for this webinar, folks, is that I am going to talk for a little bit and I'm going to be asking you some questions. Then we are going to do a little process together. We'll probably do a couple of processes together. And then you will be able to ask me questions as you need to. And you know, and I'll be able to explain to you also a little bit about my mentoring program. So yes, still got people joining the meetup today. So yes, I say to people that in my personal history, music saved my life, psychology explained my life, and metaphysics gave me life. Singing and music, which was my first career and which I still participate in, was a way of me exercising the pain that was within me. I truly think that I would have died if I had not had singing and music in my life. And there is no doubt, and here is tip number one for all of you, creative and artistic expression are great ways to resolve, soothe, and release and heal emotional pain. So just so that you know that. That's something that we can all do, whether it's painting or dancing or singing or doing anything creative is a really great way to exercise deep emotional pain. After a successful career in music, which still goes on, so I'm just about to start recording an album of songs, which goes with a book that I have written about finding my courage to sing. That was when I was in my 20s. So I've written a book about that. So music is still very much with me. And at that point, I was still in a lot of pain emotionally about relationships. And I went on to study psychology, metaphysics, and energy healing, complementary health practices. I was already meditating at that time, and a whole mirage of different techniques and processes to get me out of the place that I was in, of having such completely dysfunctional relationships. So it's been hard, and at times I have felt completely lost, which is what I expect some of you here today are also experiencing. The challenges of a lack of love can come in many shapes and forms: betrayal, conflict, resentments, jealousies, bullying, abuse, abandonment, illness, accidents, addictions are all examples of just some of the symptoms of lack of love in people's lives. I have learnt that our experience, however, reflects the quality of the thoughts and the feelings that we hold. And if you want to change the nature of your experience, then it is those things that you need to focus on. Your thoughts and feelings are way more powerful than you think, and also go much deeper than we often at first think. So quite often what I mean by that is, you know, we think that we are aware of our thoughts and feelings, and there are the different layers actually. And as we get better at it, we're able to dig deeper and to dig deeper. So sometimes there are thoughts and feelings that are beneath the surface, can be buried very deeply beneath the surface, that we need to either release in a conscious way or release through a process like one of the processes I'm going to talk about and give you an example of at an experience level today. Absolutely every thought creates form at some level. At a neurological level, the thoughts that we repeatedly think lead neurons in the brain to fire and connect through synapses to other neurons. These form the basis of our experience. So for example, if we suffer a bad experience, if we had a bad experience and we've never resolved it and never released it, then every time we are reminded of that bad experience or something similar triggers a memory of that, the neurons fire off in the same direction that they've always gone, and we go into the same thoughts and feelings again and again and again, leading us to repeat the same redundant patterns of behavior. And sometimes these are very, very challenging to change. And I certainly was not able to change those in spite of my best efforts on my own. I had to get help. On the other hand, if our thoughts are of what I would call a high vibrational quality, that means an elevated quality. So I'm talking about here of thoughts and feelings to do with compassion, gratitude, appreciation, high quality thoughts, then we are more likely, well, not more likely, we will definitely bring that into our lives. So we're talking about here the difference between fear, greed, resentment, and jealousy, which are low-level thoughts on one end, moving to compassion, gratitude, appreciation, truth, beauty, those that, you know, what I want us to move towards, because then we bring that into our lives. And I'm sure that a lot of you here have already heard this from various different teachers, and you know, this is just going to be my take on it. And I have gone into this and I studied it consciously because I was so flattened by my life. And I just, you know, I did the psychotherapy, I did the counseling, I got the degree in psychology, and I still couldn't change the things that were happening to me until I started to understand something about metaphysics and energy. So in order to change this, we have to focus on the source of the problem rather than just the symptoms. So using my life as an example, my multiple painful relationships that I had in my 20s and early 30s were the result of an inability of being able to love both myself and others. However, the solution was not simply to go and find another boyfriend, which is what I thought at the time I had to do. The solution was to go to the level of the cause, the source of my problem, which was my deviation from love, and remove it at what I would call a source level. I had to learn what love is, both consciously and also on a subconscious and subliminal and superconscious level.